Hello everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video, and we're talking about Family Tree Maker 2019 this week. Week's almost over, and we're going to talk about a feature that I don't see that has a lot of use from a genealogical perspective, but it does have some fun dimensions to the family history perspective, and those two are different things. And I'm going to give you an example. So we're going to look at my grandmother, Dolly McFarland. She was born July 16th, 1902 in Blytheville, Arkansas. So right here, this is a new icon. And if you click on it, the third thing down says historical weather. And when you click on historical weather, you can see I've already typed it in to make it a little faster. It says that the temperature was 100 degrees. So when her mother, Sarah, was giving birth to Dolly, the temperature outside was 100 degrees, and this was before the time of electric to the houses and the air conditioning thereof. So that had to be a very unfun day. I can't imagine. And where this is kind of fun and handy, all those places. Remember yesterday we talked about the mapping, and that was useful from a genealogical perspective, but the mapping, and you had the different places where they were based on the documents. You can look and find the temperatures on those dates and those places. Now for me, I looked up my birth date, and I think I looked up like the wedding, graduation date, and some other things that I thought would be interesting, kids' birth dates and stuff, just to, as a reminder of the weather and stuff like that, just to see if it was accurate. For the most part, it was. And it's not just for the United States. So we're going to type in Paris, France, because we were there recent, just to put that in perspective. And so it says it was 83.5 degrees. Now, for those outside the United States, it does have this little slider right here, and you just click on that, and it turns it to Celsius. So on that date in 1902, it was 28.6 degrees Celsius, or 83.5. So that's kind of handy. Now, one of the things that I did was I put in a year that was way back, 1776. And what it tells me that for Paris, the oldest recorded weather that is coming through this application is December 31st, 1899, or basically January 1st, 1900. And so I looked at a few places, in the United States, for instance. I just looked Virginia. What's the oldest one in Virginia? 1892. What's the oldest one in, say, New York? The oldest one in New York right here was 1868. So it doesn't go back a long way. I don't know where they're getting the data from. I know NOAA.gov will provide free of charge that information back 250, almost 300 years. But back when they were colonies, they were keeping record of the temperatures, and even in Europe, places have got their information stored, and NOAA has tracked that and got it in databases back 200 and something years. So I don't know where they're getting this data. To me, it's a little woefully lacking in the fact that I can't get much past 1868, and most places are 1860 to 1890 before it starts showing data. So that's kind of a limitation. It's more for more recent stuff. Again, it's not going to have a lot of value from a genealogical perspective, but looking at some of the stuff now, where this does come in interesting is my mother, she had a DNA surprise also with her father, and her biological father turns out to be Robert Cowan Perryman. Now Robert Perryman actually had a wife, and when he was going to Texas, he worked on cars, and there was a car accident. So I actually looked up the date to find out whether weather played, it's kind of a tongue twister, if weather played a factor in that accident. It was one of the old one-lane bridges, covered bridges kind of thing, and oil truck came from one way, and he had a car going from the other, and a pipe came off of the oil truck and went through the car. The daughter was injured a little bit, but the mother was killed in the accident. He, made it out. That was in Texas, and his brother was in Oklahoma, had him come up there, and so he moved to Oklahoma and then joined the military. And when he came back from the military, on the day he came back to Oklahoma to say goodbye to his brother and his nephew, because he felt, hey, if I die, I get to go see my wife in heaven. And when he was there in Oklahoma, he met Treva Marie for that one night after, he was there for one day, and the next day he was shipping out, and he was with her, and that's how my mother came to be. So that kind of tells you, that's what a family story is. A family story tells you those life events that maybe lead up to some life events. And knowing the weather can add a dimension to that, especially if weather had played a factor into the accident. But, I don't know if having historical weather is going to be a whole lot of value, but I can see that for some of you who are much better journalists and creative writers than I am, could probably use that information in a fun and interesting way, much better than I could. Well, there you have it. Short video. It's a small feature, and like I said, I added that into the list of videos today, mostly because it's new, not because it has genealogical impact, but it's new, and so I wanted to identify it because they really touted it as a special feature, and I find it, okay. I think there's some better resources for it, but it is one click right straight from inside Family Tree Maker. It doesn't let me click to add that information into my record, which would have been nice. But, well, actually, it does let you copy that information so that you can paste it. I guess I should go over that real quick. So let's go back to the Blytheville, Blytheville, Arkansas. And then we're going to put in 7/16/1902. And what it'll allow you to do is see right here where it's got the little underline in the hand, where you get the hand, there's a link. You can click on that, and then right here you say click to copy. But when you copy that, and I'll just show you what it says right here, when you copy that and you paste it, it just gives you the max temperature 81 degrees, okay, or 72 degrees. It'll say the min temperature was 72. If there was precipitation and you copied it, it'll just tell you what the precipitation was. So it does give you a way to click and copy it so that you can paste it into something else. But it would be nice to, capture, the location, the date, the station, and all of this information in a click, and add that in. That would have been nice. And just add that as a historical fact. Anyway, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, it's not one of the best features, Family Tree Maker 2019, but it's certainly a new one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.